Your Ram probably already has remote start hardware inside it right now. The wiring is there, the body control module supports it, and the key fob can do it. So why did your dealer charge you $600 to flip a software switch that costs about $50 with the right tool? I have been working on Ram trucks for close to 20 years, and this is one of those things that fires me up on behalf of every tradesman and bighorn owner who walked out of a dealership thinking remote start was a luxury add-on. It is not. The hardware is already in the truck. Ram just turned it off, and it gets worse than the dealer markup. There are over 24 states where using this feature the wrong way can land you a fine. Stellantis spent years charging $26 a month for app features your truck was already built to handle. If you own a diesel Ram and abuse the remote start, you can cook your DPF filter and turn a convenience feature into an $1,800 repair. I am also going to show you 3 key fob tricks that Ram buried so deep in the owner's manual that I guarantee you do not know about them. Every Ram truck from about 2013 onward uses the same basic body control module setup. The difference between a Laramie with factory remote start and a tradesman without it comes down to one thing. A software sales code called XBM is the only difference. The wiring harness is already in place. The body control module is ready for it. The relay system is built into the fuse box. Ram simply tells the computer to ignore the start command from your fob because you did not pay for the premium package. On 4th generation trucks from 2013 through 2018, every single key fob uses the exact same internal circuit board, no matter what trim you bought. The only physical difference is the rubber button overlay on top. You can buy a fob with the remote start button on eBay for about $25, and it works on a tradesman that supposedly cannot do remote start. I personally think that is one of the most blatant rip-offs in the truck industry, and I have seen some bad ones. But that is just the hardware side. The way you actually use it trips up almost every Ram owner I have worked with. Now, for those of you who already have factory remote start, the actual button sequence is simpler than you think, and it has been the same since 2007. You press the circular arrow button on your fob, the one with the 2X icon, twice within 3 seconds. The horn chirps, the parking lights flash, and the engine cranks. The default runtime is 15 minutes on both gas and diesel. If you want more time, press the remote start button twice again while the engine is running, and you get 1 extension to 30 minutes total. After that, the truck locks you out, and the message on the dash says, "Remote start disabled. Start to reset." You have to get in the cab and cycle the ignition to clear it. I get comments all the time from guys who bought their Ram used and think they have factory remote start because they do the lock, lock, lock sequence. That is not factory. That is a Compostar or Viper bypass module that a previous owner wired in and never told you about. Factory remote start only works through the circular arrow button. Mopar sells official remote start retrofit kits for every Ram generation. A 4th generation kit runs about $320 online and includes 2 new key fob units, a hood latch with the ajar sensor, and a wiring overlay. A 5th generation 1500 kit is around $270. The catch is, you need a dealer to program the XBM code into the body control module, and that programming appointment is where the markup lives. Dealers quote anywhere from $470 up to $850 in Canada for a 90-minute job that is mostly software. That brings me to the part that saves you the real money, and I know this works because I have done it myself on customer trucks more times than I can count. Alpha OBD is a diagnostic app that costs about $50 on the App Store, and it lets you do the same thing the dealer's scan tool does. Pair it with a Bluetooth adapter that costs anywhere from $50 to $120, and you can write the remote start code to the body control module yourself in about 20 minutes, sitting in your driveway. I had a customer bring in his 2018 Bighorn last February. He was quoted $640 at the dealership for remote start activation. I plugged in my adapter, opened Alpha OBD, toggled the remote start present setting to yes in the body control module, turned on the hood sensor setting, and programmed his new fob through the key reset process. Total parts and software cost was about $180, including a pair of fobs from Amazon. He drove out of my shop that afternoon starting his truck from his kitchen window. The look on his face was worth the whole job. But before you run out and try this yourself, there is one detail that will stop you cold if you do not know about it. Stellantis added a security gateway module that blocks outside tools from plugging into the diagnostic port. You need a BY-Pass cable that costs about $25 to $50, and you plug it in between your adapter and the port behind the parking brake panel. Without that bypass, Alpha OBD cannot talk to the truck at all. Alpha OBD does a lot more than just remote start, and this is where your truck starts feeling like it has been holding out on you. You can enable the factory alarm system, activate the integrated trailer brake module, fix your tire size reading after a lift, change your daytime running light behavior, and enable auto lock at speed. On 2013 through 2018 trucks, you can even enable the window roll down trick where you hold the unlock button and the front windows go down. That feature is built into the body control module, but Ram left it turned off. If you are watching this and thinking about trying Alpha OBD, do yourself a favor and never touch 3 settings: vehicle line, vehicle brand, and country code. Changing the country setting from United States to Germany has wiped the audio output on multiple Ram radios, and the dealer had to completely reprogram them to fix it. There are forum posts from guys who bricked their body control module messing with settings they did not understand. Always save your current settings before you change anything. But the key fob is only half the story. Stellantis also built Remote Start into the Uconnect app, and this is where they really tested the patience of Ram owners. Starting in 2017, you could remote start your Ram through the SiriusXM Guardian app on your phone. It was a great feature until Stellantis charged up to $26 a month for the connected services package that included it. Over $300 a year for a feature that your key fob does for free from the driveway. Charging a monthly subscription to start a truck you already own is one of the greediest moves in the auto industry, and I will die on that hill. As of July 2025, Stellantis changed the pricing. Basic connected services, including the SOS button, are now free for 10 years. But remote start through the app still costs $17.99 a month, better than $26 a month, but still a paywall on features your truck was built to handle. And here's the detail that should make every 2014 through 2017 Ram owner furious. When AT&T shut down the 3G network in 2022, it killed the Uconnect module in those trucks permanently. Remote start through the app, the vehicle locator, and the automatic crash notification system all went dark. Stellantis offered a $10 a month dongle that brings back some features, but it does not bring back crash notification. If you get in a wreck and you are unconscious, your truck cannot call for help anymore. Your Ram key fob has a metal emergency blade hidden inside it. Look for a small release tab on the back of the fob housing, slide it, and a physical key pops out. On a Tradesman or a base Bighorn, that key unlocks a hidden door cylinder behind a small black plastic plug on the driver door handle. Pry off the plug with the blade tip and you are in. On a Laramie or Longhorn or Limited, there is no external door cylinder anywhere on the truck. Your only option if the fob battery dies and the app is not working, is to call roadside assistance. I think that is a ridiculous design choice on a $60,000 truck, but that is RAM for you. And that is not even the trick that saves you the most money in an emergency. When your fob battery dies completely, your RAM still has a backup way to start. On push-button start trucks from 2013 forward, the start-stop button itself contains the backup reader. Touch the nose end of your fob directly against the button and press. The passive chip inside the fob does not need battery power to talk to the truck when it is pressed right up against the button. The engine starts normally. This has saved more RAM owners from tow truck calls than any other trick I know, and the dealership never tells you about it during delivery because they would rather sell you roadside assistance. Here is one more that sounds crazy but actually works. Hold your key fob against the underside of your chin and press the remote start button. Your skull and the fluid in your head act like an antenna and extend the fob signal 2 to 3 times its normal range. I have seen guys start their RAM from over 200 yards away using this trick. Mythbusters tested this years ago and confirmed it. You will look ridiculous in the parking lot, but your truck will be warm when you get there. Now let me kill a myth that comes up every time I talk about remote start. Some people think starting your RAM remotely makes it easier to steal. That is completely wrong. When the engine fires up via remote start, every door locks automatically. The immobilizer system stays fully active, and the transmission will not shift out of park unless your key fob is inside the truck. If someone smashes your window and presses the brake pedal, the engine dies instantly. They are not driving anywhere. Your truck is actually more secure during a remote start than when it is sitting cold with the doors unlocked. What RAM does lack compared to Ford is a remote kill switch. Ford lets you completely disable the engine from an app if your keys get stolen. RAM has nothing like that from the factory, and I think that is a gap Stellantis needs to close on trucks that cost $70,000. Here is the part that trips up RAM owners who live in certain states. Over 24 states have anti-idling laws that technically apply to remote-started vehicles. Colorado is the friendliest because they wrote in an exception for remote-started locked trucks back in 2016. Denver still enforces a 5-minute cap on idle time itself, though. Illinois also exempts remote start systems in 8 named counties. But states like New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Texas have no remote start carve-out at all. New Jersey has a strict 3-minute limit with fines starting at $250 per offense. New York City issued over 11,000 idling tickets in a single year, and they actually let private citizens file complaints and collect 25% of the fine. One person in New York made over $125,000 just reporting idling vehicles. For Ram diesel owners, this matters even more because anti-idling laws are often stricter on trucks over 10,000 pounds. A Ram 2,500 or 3,500 with the Cummins falls right into that weight range. And that brings me to what extended idling actually does to your Ram engine, because the answer depends entirely on what is under your hood. The 5.7 Hemi runs all 8 cylinders at idle. The MDS system does not engage until you are under light cruise, so the oil pump is spinning at its lowest speed with full demand on every hydraulic lifter. Idle oil pressure on a healthy Hemi runs around 18 to 22 pounds per square inch when hot. That is the bare minimum those lifters need to stay happy, and it is a big reason why guys who remote start their Hemi for 30 minutes every morning eventually hear the infamous Hemi tick. One cycle of 10 to 15 minutes before you drive is fine. Chaining 3 or 4 cycles together every day for years is asking for a lifter replacement. The 3.0 Eco Diesel is where remote start can actually cost you serious money. The DPF filter needs exhaust temperatures above 660 degrees to burn off soot, and those temperatures only happen under load. At idle, soot builds up in the filter and never burns off. If you remote start your EcoDiesel every day for 15 minutes and then drive short trips, you are loading that DPF without ever giving it a chance to clean itself. I have seen replacement filters run $1,800 on these trucks. If you own an EcoDiesel, keep remote start to one cycle and then drive at highway speed for at least 20 minutes to let the system do its job. The 6.7 Cummins is the one where Cummins actually tells you what to do. Idle with coolant above 170 degrees for no more than 3 to 5 minutes before driving under load. Below that temperature, soot collects on cylinder walls and exhaust valve stems. A better option for cold mornings is the Cummins High Idle feature. Put the truck in park, turn cruise on, then press the set button. The engine ramps up to about 1,000 RPM, which keeps DPF temperatures up without the soot buildup of a normal idle. Do not chain remote start cycles back to back every single morning. Your engine was not designed for that. If you found this useful, make sure you watch the video where I break down every Ram engine you can buy right now and explain why I only recommend one of them. If you are shopping for a Ram or thinking about trading up, you need to see which 4 engines I say to walk away from before you spend a dime.